All right, so it is Monday morning. I am on my, I think, fourth week of my neurology rotation. And this week I'm on just general neurology. So it's kind of interesting how my schedule worked out. I've kind of been going like in reverse for the sort of niche subspecialties of neuro. So my first week was like my actual subspecialty week. And then I was on epilepsy, which is a little less subspecialized than on stroke. And now finally I'm on general neurology. It's just kind of how things worked out. Probably would have been a little bit better for me to start on gen neuro and then get more specific, but it is what it is. But anyway, I'm excited to see like what we're actually going to be doing this week, just because I've already done a lot of the subspecialty stuff. So it's like, okay, well, all of these different subspecialties exist between stroke, epilepsy, obviously there's neurosurgery, there's movement disorders, headache. Then what does a general neurologist do? Very similar schedule to what I've been doing. So have to get there at 7. I'll probably be assigned like 1 or 2 patients to pre-chart on, and then rounds will start anywhere from 9 to 10. We'll probably do table rounds first and then some walking rounds if that's what the attending likes to do. Then we'll just kind of hang out, see if any consults come in, go see them, and then go home. All right, so it is Wednesday after my shift, so I've had a few days of gen neuro to see what everything is like. And it's really nice. I like the sort of more broad aspect of it. I did really like my stroke week just because I enjoy anatomy and reading images, and that's a lot of what stroke neurologists do, in terms of thinking of a patient's symptoms, trying to predict the localization, and then actually like really thoroughly going through the MRI or MRA to see what's going on. So I did like that, but I also really like what we've been doing on gen neuro. Interestingly, the attending is a neuro-ophthalmologist. I don't know if that's like common for a neuro-ophthalmologist to do some inpatient gen neuro, if that's just what this doctor likes to do. But I think that that's kind of unique. It's honestly been helping for a lot of the patients that were consulted for. So pretty much any like vision issue will be consulted. So it's really nice that the attending has that extra training generally about what kind of stuff we've seen this week. Seen a good amount of headaches. I think that's because there's no like headache team for the inpatient side. Obviously there's a lot of outpatient headache doctors, but so anytime there's a headache, we are consulted. Like I said, any vision issue really comes to us. If there's some other concerning things that might make us think it's a stroke, we'll send it to the stroke team. But so yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that. A lot of altered mental status. So anytime a patient either comes into the hospital altered or is in the hospital for a different reason and they become altered. So a patient has a UTI or pneumonia and then they have an altered mental status, we're consulted just to kind of rule out any real neurological thing going on besides, whatever infection is happening in their body. So honestly, those are probably my least favorite consults, just because a lot of the times, even before we go and see the patient, we know, all right, this is probably just their active pneumonia or active UTI. So yeah, that's in a nutshell a lot of what we see. In terms of workload, I get there around 7:15. I'm assigned 2 new patients every day, and then I'll go pre-chart on them. So just look in Epic, look through all the notes, see what is going on, and then go and see them, talk to them, sort of reconfirm the story that I got from their notes, do a physical exam, prep for a presentation. Thankfully, my residents this week have been really nice and will go over the patients with me before rounding with the attending, so I kind of know what things I should focus on. I'm better able to come up with a plan with the residents' help, because that's usually the hardest part of a presentation. And then we'll do table rounds, so everyone will present their patient. The first day was a little bit longer because a lot of the patients were completely new to the attending, but by now If it's a patient who's been here for a few days, the presentation is really just like an update. And then after that, we'll do walking rounds. We'll be done at noon because there's always a noon conference. So even if we haven't seen all the patients, the residents and students will go to that, and then the attending will keep rounding on the rest of the patients. Then in the afternoon, we'll just do whatever comes in. Usually there are some consults, especially on gen neuro, because like I said, any sort of new neurological thing that happens to any hospitalized patient, usually neuro is consulted. So the afternoon is spent doing that kind of stuff. And then I've been leaving around like 3 or 4 every day. So really not that bad. It's honestly pretty similar in workload to the other subspecialties that I've been on, and very similar to like what my schedule was like while I was on IM. So today has been a pretty hectic day, definitely a lot crazier than any of the other days. So I got up around my normal time, around like 5:30, left the house at 6:30 to get to the hospital at 7, and then I just got out of my OSCE and it's 6 p.m. It's still light out, thankfully, because it's summer. But yeah, this was a much crazier day than all the other days this week. So like I said, I got to hospital at normal time, just did the normal rounding, went to rounds, but then I had to leave at 11:30 to drive up to the school for my OSCE. So we always have sort of a practice OSCE a few weeks before the end of the clerkship. It's crazy that's already the 4th week of this clerkship, and that means we need our practice OSCE. But anyway, so everyone had to get up to the school around 1 for that to start. And then that went until about 5:45, so we just got out, and it's about 6 p.m. right now. So the OSCE itself, it actually went pretty well. There was 2 standardized patient cases, and then 1 just like sort of workshop station. So the workshop was actually learning how to do lumbar punctures, which I haven't had the chance to see, unfortunately. They definitely do happen, but it's usually pretty late in the day. Like, honestly, I feel like most of the people who are on short call or like the overnight residents are the people who actually end up doing it because they're not really free until later in the day. So we're usually gone by the time that lumbar punctures are actually happening. Sometimes they happen while we're doing our lectures, so we can't really go. So I haven't really had a lot of experience with it, but it's something that neurologists do pretty frequently, so it's kind of a skill that you should learn on your neurology clerkship. So we had 4 like really nice models that we were able to practice on. We kind of went through the steps of it. It's a pretty simple procedure, and they have like a kit that kind of has all of the materials that you would need to, anesthetize the area, clean it, the different vials to collect the CSF. And then there was 2 SP encounters. Both of them were like very classic presentations of stuff that we have seen all the time on our clerkship already. So those weren't too bad. It was honestly just a very long day. Like nothing particularly went wrong or was difficult. I'm just not really used to these hours of 7 to 6, but that is kind of what I was doing on my surgery clerkship. Honestly, this is a lot better because I don't have to get to the hospital at 5, but it's just a little unfortunate because I'm not really going to have too much time to study tonight. I mean, it is 6 right now, but the school is like an hour away from my place, and now there's going to be rush hour traffic, so I probably won't be getting home until, I don't know, like 7:30. Gotta eat something, and then might have like an hour to study before I have to go to bed. So definitely reminiscent of surgery, where I would get home, eat, and have maybe an hour to myself before I had to go to bed. Definitely not gonna have time to work out today or anything like that, which is something that I had been able to do these past few days, where, if I get out at like 3 o'clock, I definitely have time to make it to the gym, but not today. All right, so it is Sunday, and it's honestly been a very nice past couple of days. So I got back to like my normal routine at the hospital on Friday. I was just there from like 7 to 2. Really wasn't too bad. Was able to come home, work out, get a little studying in, and then me, Mackenzie, and her roommate went over to one of our classmates' house just to hang out for a little, socialize a little bit because it was really nice out. Then we went and grabbed ice cream on the way home, which Mackenzie and her roommate were very excited about. Then yesterday, Saturday, was also great. I got up and went to the gym, tried to get a lot of my studying out of the way, went to a coffee shop for a few hours to focus, and then we went to another one of Mackenzie's roommates' places. Actually went to like her dad's house, who lives very close, like 20 minutes from where we live. She was house sitting, so she invited a few of our classmates over. So we were able to hang out there. It was right on the water, which was nice. So it was kind of raining, so that was a little unfortunate. So we had to go inside for a little bit, but after that, we, grilled burgers, just enjoyed the outdoors, and then had like a bonfire, had some s'mores. So that was a really great day. And then this morning, once again, it was super nice out, like very mild in the morning. So I wanted to get my long run out of the way. So got up at like 6 and drove to the beach actually to run along the boardwalk. Something that I haven't done enough of, being so close to the beach. I really have no excuse not to, because it's like a 10-minute drive. I just sometimes get a little lazy and like, oh, I'll just run right around me so I don't have to worry about driving to and from the run location. But I was like, I'm up super early, so I have plenty of time to do that. And I was planning on just running like 6 miles, but it was so nice out that I ended up doing 8. And then it was actually really funny. We didn't coordinate this, but Mackenzie also had the same idea to go on a run along that same beach. So we met up for like the end of both of our runs and ended it at an acai bowl place. So we had that for breakfast and then came home, and we've just been studying for most of the day. So it's been a nice week in terms of like showing the balance of sometimes you're super busy and you're not able to fit in a lot of the stuff that you like to do, like going to the gym or whatever. But then some days are a little bit more chill, and even if you can't completely take the day off, you can definitely find some time to relax and do what you like. Another thing with like how busy I've been, thankfully neurology is a pretty light clerkship in terms of workload. As I mentioned, it is very similar to the schedule that I was on in internal medicine. I would get to the hospital around 7 and then leave anywhere between like 2 and 4. But the difference is on IM, I had so many more questions that I needed to do and just so much more content that I needed to cover. Like I think it was 1,100 UWorld questions for IM, and for neuro, even though the clerkship is 2 weeks shorter than IM, there's only like 250 questions. So it's like so much more focused. The workload is so much less that I'm able to have a lot more free time to just do stuff that I enjoy. And then my next clerkship too is going to be psych, which, also more of a niche kind of specialty. So the content isn't that broad that you need to learn, and the hours are pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that, honestly. I kind of tried to plan it to where I had these 2 clerkships during the summer, just because I was like, I'm going to be living down near the beach. I don't want to be doing surgery during this time where I'm stuck in the hospital for 12 hours every single day. All right, well, that is going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like below and subscribe if you want to see videos like this in the future. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.